Hello everyone. Thank you for joining us on this wonderful tour of the beautiful Buffalo Park. Buffalo Park was created in 1963 as a wildlife park to attract tourists to Flagstaff. The park offered stagecoach tours where people could see buffalo, elk, deer, and small creatures like squirrels and birds. However, after the 5-year lease was up, the city of Flagstaff decided to shut the wildlife park down because of lack of funds. Today, there are no longer any buffalo roaming this park, but people take their place. There are many trails that loop through Buffalo Park and into the surrounding mountains. On these trails, people can hear and see the wild animals that still call Buffalo Park home. Buffalo Park is one of the most diverse parks in Flagstaff, featuring a wide variety of flora and fauna. Buffalo Park is comprised of thousands of ponderosa pine trees. These trees only grow at elevations between 6,000 and 8,000 feet, making Flagstaff the perfect home for these trees. These trees provide food and shelter to many of Buffalo Park's smaller residents. One furry little resident that can be found frequently in Buffalo Park is the Abert squirrel. This little guy is named after American naturalist John James Abert. It is easy to tell the Abert squirrel apart from other squirrels because of its pointy ears and more furry exterior. These squirrels build their nests up to 40 feet high among the pines. In the warmer months, the rodent will eat seeds and buds from the tree, and in the colder months, they will eat the inner bark of the mighty ponderosa. Another important creature found in this forest is the gray fox. The sly gray fox is omnivorous, meaning it can hunt for prey or eat fruits and berries they find. Juniper berries are a huge part of a gray fox's diet, especially in fall when they are packing on the pounds for winter. The gray fox will also eat small rodents like our furry friend the Abert squirrel, and insects that can be found in the forest. One incredible talent the gray fox has is the unique ability to climb trees to hunt for prey, unlike most other foxes. They can sometimes be found sleeping in trees and climbing to heights of 60 feet or more. The Rocky Mountain elk, Buffalo Park's largest resident, with males or bulls weighing in at a whopping 700 pounds. Bull elk grow their antlers from mid-May through the beginning of August. When they are growing, they have a layer of fuzzy velvet that covers and protects the antler. Antlers can grow at an astonishing rate of up to an inch a day. September is an exciting time of the year because the elk begin the rut or their mating season. The bulls will use their impressive antlers to push their rivals around and show dominance. Another way of showing dominance is for the bulls to bugle. This call is used to attract females and let other bulls know they are in the area. The bigger bulls will each have their own herd of cows or females that they will breed. Several months later, during the summer, the pregnant cows will give birth to 1 or 2 calves. Elk are also one of the few animals that have ivory. The ivory are the top 2 canine teeth and are small today, but scientists believe the elk's ancestors had longer ones they used in combat. The Rocky Mountain elk eats grasses and shrubs and will run from danger before fighting. However, don't get too close to these animals, especially during the rut, because they are still wild animals and can be aggressive.
Well, as long as people enter Yellowstone, they will encounter animals. And as we've seen multiple times this summer, those encounters are not always peaceful or leave people unscathed. Another one of those incidents just today. One man was slightly injured yesterday after being charged by an elk at Mammoth Hot Springs. Boyce Shaw of Arley caught this video of a group of people watching 2 male elk fighting. One of the elk then crosses the street to charge at the crowd. Officials at Yellowstone National Park remind everyone to give animals their space and to stay 25 yards away from large animals like elk, bison, and bears.
Buffalo Park is a host to a diverse variety of birds. Sitting near the base of Mount Eldon in the San Francisco Peaks, the park accompanies birds ranging from those of the brush and the prairies and mesas to the birds of the high pine trees nestled in on Mount Eldon. One of the most common species you can see is the American raven, which can be easily identified by its total black appearance. These birds are seen common in the area and are known for both their intelligence and cunning. Much like our own selves as kids, juvenile ravens have been witnessed making toys out of sticks to play with and even sliding down snowbanks just for fun. Don't you remember those good old days? They're even known to play a sort of catch-me-if-you-can game with wolves and foxes. Man, they are quite a playful animal. Another common bird you may see is the Steller's jay. It's kind of funny, this bird is commonly mistaken as a blue jay, which is understandable because they are in the same family and do look alike. But the Steller's jay stands out with its black head and larger size. It is actually one of the most colorful birds of northern Arizona. More unlike the blue jay, the Steller's jay has a very different call. It's more of a squawk, if you ask me. Another bird, but a more elusive one you might see, is the wild turkey. Native to the northern Arizona region and a prized trophy to hunters, these large birds are a sight to see. But you are more likely to hear them than to ever see one. I am sure that I don't have to show you what they sound like. I bet you can already hear it in your head. What a sound. Oddly enough, these magnificent birds were almost the national bird. Benjamin Franklin had proposed them to be a symbol of the American people. Thankfully, his idea was overturned and was put to rest, and the bald eagle became our bird. Could you imagine being referred to as a nation of turkeys? Yeah, me neither. With all this talk of birds, I am sure that you can now call yourself a professional birder. Well, maybe not a professional, but at least an amateur. But I'm convinced that you will be able to spot and identify some new creatures on your next walk through Buffalo Park. Walking in through the park entrance, it may not look like much inhabits this area, but look closely. Look up in the mighty ponderosa pine trees. You might spot an Abert squirrel munching on some food or scampering from limb to limb. Try and walk quietly. Maybe you can find a curious gray fox hunting for gophers, or maybe he's simply wondering what you are doing in his front yard. Be sure to scan the distance. Maybe there's a herd of elk grazing. And listen closely. You might just hear the squawk of a Steller's jay or the faint gobble of a turkey far in the distance. Remember, as you go about your walks or runs through Buffalo Park, there are many different creatures all around you, flourishing and living as nature intended. It's important to admire from a distance and let them be. That way everyone can get the chance to experience the wonderful sounds of Buffalo Park. Thanks for joining us here on Sights and Sounds of Buffalo Park. We hope you have enjoyed our program.